Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Psalm 61 verses 3 says, "For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy. I will abide in your tabernacle forever. I will trust in the cover of your wings." Pause. That was verse 4. You know, the Lord will walk in the path of goodness is always the best way. And it's a strong tower for those people who choose to walk in the right way. It's strong because what you give out there comes back to you. Alright, let's get into what we're going to talk about today. There's a couple stuff that we need to debunk, so let's get into it. First of all, DC Watchtower is a group on Facebook. It's a closed group. If you want to, you can check it out. Shout out to all the people in DC Watchtower. Alright, so there was an article in DC Watchtower by Chris Mancilas. And this is what some of the Snyder Cut people, the Snyder Cut fan people, had to say. And this is that you go to Fiona Zhang's post in Vero. This is a Vero post, and it was an article that was put out, which I debunked already, by Stephen M. Colbert, which says Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League was more complete than you realize. This is from Stephen M. Colbert, and she says exactly. And Zack Snyder liked that post, and so because of that, a number of people are like, "Oh, there, see, Zack Snyder, he supports, that he had a more completed cut than people are saying, and it was completed, almost a completed cut." And that means that, it was a go. Alright? So that's what the Snyder Cut people are using. Now, in that article post, there are a lot of Snyder Cut people, but a guy called Thomas James. Thomas James, he's a guy who is also in this group, DC Watchtower. Shout out to Thomas James. I wanted to say that, and I got ahead of myself while I was thinking. And Thomas basically said this, alright? So Thomas, he came out and he showed that actually Zack Snyder on Vero was liking a lot of this lady's post, alright? And let me just show you what I mean. So on Vero, this was the post that Zack Snyder liked, as you can clearly see. Now, I'm not on Vero, so I can't. But here it is again. Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League was more complete than you will realize. Exactly, she says. And this is by Stephen M. Colbert, which I already debunked. But here's the thing. Alright? If you go and look at her other post, she had a post that said, "Kushu Misty Record, a new show." And Zack Snyder liked that. Right? And that's just like a random post. Then there's another one, "Just Feel Better," featuring Steve Tyler she says, "I love Santana." And Zack Snyder liked that too. And then she had "Blade of the Immortal," and she said "this," and Zack Snyder liked that too. And she had "Sleeping Sam, my favorite parents' big old cat." It was a video of a cat, and Zack Snyder liked that too. In fact, Zack Snyder liked just about every post that she had. She had "Super Blue Moon makes first appearances 1866." Zack Snyder liked that. Detective Comics Annual Rebirths 2018 #1 issue. Zack Snyder liked that. It's like all of her posts. She had "Freeze but Beautiful." Zack Snyder liked that. So whatever she posts, he kind of just liked the post. And Thomas, he was saying that Zack Snyder, he kind of patronizes the people who subscribe to him. So he goes and he likes their stuff. And there may be one or two posts that he actually misses and he doesn't get to like. But you can see basically her random posts he was liking. So we had "Frosty hiding in my nest," and she's talking about hiding in her nest, and he liked that. She has "Mosaic, looking forward to this." And if anybody doesn't know, Vero is a place where you are positively enforcing people. So in Vero, you don't post up negative things to each other, right? The Robot Chicken Walking Dead special. Look who's walking. Why not? And Zack Snyder liked that. Junkie XL's Jaws, Distance Between Dream Score YouTube. I love Junkie. Zack Snyder liked that. Just Feel Better feeding Steven Tyler. I Love Santana. I think I did that one already. Bull SO2 EP11 was brilliant. Zack Snyder liked that. You get my point, right? How to Get Away with Murder, what a twist. Zack Snyder liked that. David Lynch, The Art of Life, she loved it. Zack Snyder liked that. So I'm just saying, Zack Snyder was kind of patronizing Easy Lover, I Am Complete, even Clay Enos like that. Like, they you know, she probably subscribed to Clay Enos so he come back and like your stuff. So I'm just saying that Zack Snyder liked some stuff, and it just so happened he also liked the stuff that she posted, the article on him. It doesn't mean he read the article. I think it's just that he acknowledged her. Here she says, Shazam! Love it. Please make us proud. Zack Snyder liked that. I think I showed that already. Winter Fireworks. The Biggest Snowman I've Ever Seen. Zack Snyder liked that. And so on. Now, there were some things that Zack Snyder didn't like. Little Shark swimming in the mall. Zack Snyder liked that. I mean, come on now. You get what I'm saying? Like, she had, and I believe he just missed it. He missed it. Where, guys, this Twitter is official. I don't even know what it's about. Zack Snyder didn't like that because he probably missed it. Because Yulia Maribor, she was liking everything as well. And she's a known person. For Snyder Cut, for Zack Snyder's Justice League Cut, for Snyder Cut, which is an organization pushing to promote Zack Snyder's cut and try to get that in the stores. Zack Snyder probably didn't get to that. That's why he didn't like it, because it didn't make any sense. If Zack Snyder really is supporting article and he's liking things, then he would like that, right? It just makes logical sense. But he didn't have the opportunity to like it. Also, could Zack Snyder's version of Justice League have been nearly done, which is basically the same thing that Stephen M. Colbert is saying, and Zack Snyder didn't like that. And it's not that he didn't like it, it's just that he probably didn't get to it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get to the post to actually like it. Zack Snyder's Justice League post-production timeline, again, he didn't actually show anything. He didn't get to that. And it's just, I guess he didn't get to it. And there's another one. Zack Snyder exploring the For Snyder Cut fan site. It's a fan site for Zack Snyder's cut. If he should like that as well. You get what I'm saying? So I believe that what really happened is Zack Snyder just didn't get to those things. Probably didn't see them or whatever. And when it comes to that present one, he got to that one. And a couple others. Junkie XL stuff and some other things that you saw. But it seems as though Zack Snyder was basically, like Joss Whedon, they just acknowledge the people's expression. You know, because they subscribe to them. So it's like, okay, you subscribe to me. Okay, I'm gonna interplay with my fans. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what you're basically seeing. It's not that Zack Snyder is saying, oh, I agree with these people. I think it is that he's acknowledging them. All right? Just like when Joss Whedon acknowledged that Steppenwolf is the worst display of a villain ever. Come on, man. He worked with the Steppenwolf character. Okay? He actually is responsible in some respects for what you saw with Steppenwolf and his appearance in the final acts of the film and certain touch-up scenes in the film. So obviously he doesn't, I don't think he agrees or expresses the view just because he likes a comment. It's just an acknowledgement of it. I don't think he agrees that Steppenwolf was the weakest character ever in comic book history. I don't think he agrees with that. And seeing that he did Ultron. He did Ultron. That's not a weak character. I mean, it's one of the weakest characters out there. But he's not going to acknowledge that. So I think it's just that he's acknowledging the input. When you see these guys like something, it's just acknowledging. It's not necessarily that they agree with what you're saying. They're like, I hear you. I hear you. That's pretty much what they're doing. So I think a lot of people are misreading and misinterpreting what Zack Snyder is. Because if Zack Snyder's agreeing with that, then he's agreeing with a faulty argument. You get what I'm saying? Because I did so many videos on these fans and how much fans do not understand how movies are made. Like Ben Affleck was saying, you know, fans just don't understand the production issues and the pre-production, and that sets the direction in which a film goes. Like, a lot of fans just don't understand that. So, I realize people have limited knowledge on things. And let me go into another thing as we're going into this video. So, one of the things that people and so-called fans are talking about now is an image going up on social media. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can find it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will find it. I don't know. But there's an image going up on social media. Here it is. This should be maybe it. Yeah, this image here. MD Imran, okay? He put up this image. Now, this image was actually to show you symmetry. That if you look here, Superman's eyes are closed in BVS, and the eyes are closed here. And then in BVS, his eyes open with flame in this case, because Superman was damaged from the nuclear blast. And here, his eyes are open wide also. That's a typical Zack Snyder symmetry. However, this guy, he's trying to say that Whedon did this for some reason and Snyder did this, which is amazing. I mean, alright, we'll get into that in a minute. But here's the thing. It's consistent. That's the point. And it's really funny because there's so many things I want to say about this, but let me just take it one step at a time. The first thing is, the brilliance of Zack Snyder is consistent. Now, even though Superman did not die here in this scene, and he also didn't die in Man of Steel when he smashed through the world engine, if you do remember that, over the Indian Ocean, there is a consistent theme throughout this trilogy. Superman is down, he's out, he's depleted, and then he gets recharged, reboosted, re-strengthened. And in the two scenes that we saw with Superman in the earliest parts of this trilogy, which would be Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, the sun regenerated him twice. Now, there's a difference between resurrection and regeneration. Okay? Now, Superman was lying in Man of Steel on the ground, and he saw his hand reach up to the sun, and he was rejuvenated. Okay? Or regenerated. Rejuvenation. I think it's rejuvenation I'm looking for, not regeneration. Rejuvenation. Okay? Rejuvenation and rebirth are two different things. Rejuvenation and resurrection are two different things. Rejuvenation, regeneration, restoration, and resurrection are two different things. Okay? So, we saw in Man of Steel him being rejuvenated. And then in Batman v Superman, we saw him regenerating. We saw that his body was, his head was busted open and all kinds of stuff. And then we just saw him regenerated, sorry. And he became back Superman. He saw his eyes start to blaze with that heat vision that he has. And he just took off. Alright. Now in Justice League, we saw him be resurrected. Now, people are arguing it's Whedon because we couldn't see his mouth. And they're saying, oh, it's Whedon because he couldn't see his mouth. Therefore, it's Whedon that did this shot scene. That's the whole fabric behind it. But here's the problem with that argument. The first problem with the argument is that in the art of the film, Justice League, the art of the film, we have scenes of Superman's resurrection, which happened, as we all know, way before Joss Whedon came on to direct the film. Okay? This is a scene with the Justice League in the ambiotic chamber. Obviously, this is not shot from the film because you can see here all of these things here showing us that this is, and there's some green screen and stuff. But this is obviously a set, an elaborate set. Okay? Secondly, here we see the Flash running. So we know that that scene where the Flash was running to touch the mother box was not a reshot scene. Well, they're arguing, well, parts of it was reshot. I'm laughing. I'm like, no, that's not reshot. Whedon didn't have time to do all of that. And finally, we see Superman here on a stone. This was not seen in the movie. I don't remember seeing it in the movie, at least. It could have been. In the final act, we saw him actually leaping off of the ground to go somewhere. So that's possible that could have been where it is. I can try and find it in the movie if it really was in the movie. But the point is, there's Superman there. I don't remember seeing that scene in the movie. So my point is, if you know anything about the art of the film, there are actual scenes in the art of the film which we see are not scenes in Justice League. We know the reshot scenes with Cyborg, for instance. There's a reshot scene with Cyborg. That's not there. We got the original scene. So we know these original scenes here from the Justice League movie. Now, in addition to that, I want to show you something else. So, I want to show you consistency in storytelling. And whether you believe Whedon reshot that scene or not, you have to concede that it is consistent with the storytelling of this trilogy. We start off here with the amniotic pods in the Genesis chamber of Krypton. Okay? And this is how Kryptonians were birthed. There was a codex that distributed certain elements of it, so that each Kryptonian had a specific task. The entire codex was never given to a particular Kryptonian, and there were no natural births. This is a recall to the Matrix. For those people who remember the Matrix trilogy, the technology and everything is a callback to the Matrix. Go watch that film. Okay? I know my stuff. I don't just talk. I don't just speak out of my ass like some of these fans who have no knowledge whatsoever. Let's keep it moving. So, that's how we were introduced to the Genesis Chamber, which we then saw in Man of Steel, where Kal-El is standing with his father, Jor-El, in front of a Genesis Chamber. Okay? The Genesis Chamber is a room inside of the Kryptonian ship. Because the Kryptonians, when they go to a new planet, they look for ways to terraform it so that they can actually have Kryptonians on there, living and existing. Okay? They're trying to build up other colonies, other places. General Zod. We see commandeer that Kryptonian ship. And we see Superman destroy the ship and the Genesis Chamber by using his heat vision. And the ship crashes, the Genesis Chamber is damaged, etc., etc., etc. But we saw also the heat vision go through it. And if we look, that heat vision, we can see marks of that heat vision on the flooring here. Alright, let's keep this moving. So, General Zod dies. And Lex Luthor, as you can see here, he gets to, he gets the body of General Zod. And we heard how he did it to a senator, etc., etc. Here he's opening up the where the body is entombed in, and he gets to use General Zod. He uses kryptonite to cut off General Zod's fingerprints, and he uses them to open and get access to the chamber. And we have some concept art here of General Zod being metamorphosized into something else. Okay, and there, if you can read this stuff on top here, it says the active tendrils of the ambiotic chamber or Genesis chamber come down, and this is a blow up of them here, and they grab General Zod's body here, and they lift his upper body out of there, as it says here, out of the pool of the damaged Kryptonian Genesis chamber, and the tendrils start to plug into his body, especially his heart and lungs area. Okay, so you see it plugging into him. And they cocoon around the body. Amniotic bubbles increase in size and numbers. So you see cocoon around him. This is all the concept art. We didn't get to see this part where he was being metamorphosized because they had to cut it for time. Okay? You could say, oh, that was an important part of the movie and BBLs. They cut that out. You could say that. But it doesn't help with the carrying around of the story. You don't really need to know all these details. And it's just the same stupidness that we had with Justice League. Oh, they come out, Cyborg letting out the Flash meeting Iris West. It's like, it's not important to the story. So they cut it out. Alright, so anyway, ambiotic bubbles grew in the size and create one single ambiotic sac. And believe you me, they have this footage that's animated, and they had it. You could see that Zod was being picked up by the tendrils, but they didn't bother to show you all of that, okay? Don't have to show them all of that. And besides, I don't know if it was completed or not, but they had the stuff to be able to do it. So they grow around him, and he forms this big amniotic sac in which he's being fed all these nutrients. Alright? And then his body, as it says right here, starts to mutate. So his body's mutating. The pod uses all the tendrils available to divert the substances to the main amniotic sac. All tissue is being subvected to sustain the organism that is not unlike a cancer growth. So it's basically a lot of growth here to sustain this organism with nutrients, okay? And then Zod's body dramatically increases in size and mutates into a pre-Doomsday stage. So he's now pre-Doomsday here. See him grow up pretty big. You see him mutate. And then Doomsday is ready to hatch. Okay? So they've made multiplication of cells, blah, blah, blah. And now Doomsday is there, sitting down there. You see Lex Luthor in the corner. That's Doomsday over here. You can can see how big he is there. And you can see Lex Luthor over on this side here, above him. Okay? And then, of course, you see Superman coming in. Lex Luthor is there. This is all the concept art. And there's Doomsday down below. And then they jolt him with a big jolt of electricity. And that charge is because you got the cells and stuff that multiply like cancer, but then now you get to jolt the organism to life. The organs need to start working. How does that happen? It happens with a big jolt, a big conductive field, and a jolt of electricity, a big jolt of energy to boost this thing to life, and that wakes him up, and then he hatches. Okay? And guess what? The same thing happened with Superman, but they combined the mother box technology that brought Cyborg to life, and they used that was awakened, because somehow Silas Stone awaked the mother box. Don't ask me how he did it, but he did it. And it woke up and it jolted Cyborg to life. The thing with Cyborg that was explained in Justice League is that Cyborg's body couldn't take that energy, and it was only a machine that could do it. So instead of having just cybernetic parts, he became a living machine, and Cyborg became more powerful than his host. Okay? But in the case of Superman, he could take it. He could take it because his cells it was more powerful than a planet. So that jolt from the mother box was able to bring Superman to life. Okay? The Flash produced a conductive field to wake up the mother box, which jolted Superman in that nutritive environment and jolted him back to life. He didn't mutate like General Zod did into Doomsday. Okay? So, at the end of the day, this is consistent storytelling. This is not Whedon taking over. And we have evidence that it wasn't Whedon that's idea at all, because here we have a callback to it. That would be ridiculous. How is he going to create that set to start with, the Kryptonian ship? How is he getting all of that? You need more than $25 million to do that. Come on, folks. So, no, Whedon didn't recreate everything. So this guy now, he comes and he says, oh, well, that particular shot was Whedon. And I'm like, look, dude, straight up from the trailers. And I showed him this. So this is the guy talking about that. And I just came back here and I responded to him, showing him literally. And this is the easy part for me, because I just kind of know, I know my stuff. I told him I know my shit. I said I know my stuff. So I just showed him from the trailers, here's the Flash leaping in to touch the mother box. So I showed him stuff from the trailers that the Flash was actually doing that. And you just go right here. Booyah. And you go right here. There's the Flash leaping in to touch the mother box. Remember that scene? Well, there it is. It was actually in the trailers. One of the later trailers. So you could say, you could argue, well, it was Whedon, it's for reshoots. You know, I doubt it was reshoots, because as we can see, here's the Flash coming charging in. And this is in the art of the film. It may not have been a completed scene as yet. Definitely they touched it up a bit. I can tell it was touched up some. But I can tell you for a fact that that scene was there all along. Alright? It's like the scene where Wonder Woman is facing Superman. I can tell they touched it up, they tweaked it up, they did something different. You know, you look at the scene with Batman when he's coming in off of the troop carrier. You know they touched that thing up a lot. But it was there from the beginning. The Flash running through the city, that was there from the beginning, but it's just they touched it up. So, if you want to say that they touched it up, fine. But to tell me that Zack Snyder didn't shoot that scene, hell no. That was not reshoots. Okay? And so, this is the way how you debunk people. It's very easy to debunk people because I have the facts. And I know I'm coming from a truthful basis. A lot of these so-called Snyder fans, my problem with them is that they lie. They tell lies. If you would just tell the truth, we wouldn't have a problem with you. You know, I have my gripes and my criticisms of Justice League, but I also know it counterbalances with certain other things. I keep it balanced. But these people, they keep on lying. Like they straight up lie about Justice League. That's my problem with them. They are on a campaign to get a Snyder Cut, and still they want to trash. They call it a Snyder Cut, inverted commas. They want to trash the film that's there already. Why are you trying to be so destructive? And so that's my problem with them. If the film was worth trashing, I'd be right there with them trashing it. And I would use truth. I would actually give you proof of it. I can't do that because I don't have. It's not true. The film does not deserve to be trashed. And two, the stuff that you're calling Whedon's reshoots, they're Zack stuff. And the stuff that you're calling Zack stuff is Whedon stuff. You don't even know your facts correctly. Remember, Alex Ledbeater's the guy that was saying at the end, remember from the last video, he was saying that, oh, that bromance scene with Bruce and Clark at the end, it was Whedon. And I'm like, no, clearly it wasn't Whedon because we could clearly see Henry Cavill's face there. You know, it's these kinds of things that bother me. Now remember, another thing that a lot of people just don't get. They forget all these facts selectively, right? Remember, I come from facts, right? One, Ezra Miller said Zack Snyder was kind of doing more of a Whedon-y thing. That was the first thing. And the second thing, most important part of the whole thing, while people trying to figure out what is Whedon, what is Zack, right? And some of the things they know is Whedon, some of them is Zack. Another thing that should have gotten people's attention was that besides Ezra Miller saying that Zack was trying to do a Whedon-y thing, Zack Snyder himself, and Chris Terrio told you this was going to be a lighter film. Of course, the tone, the color palette tone has been tweaked, especially coming to the end, a little too much on the lighter side. Yeah, I get better resolution of the Flash running and stuff, but it's a little too tweaked on the lighter side. It was supposed to give you that sort of feeling of horror. It's supposed to have its horror elements in it. And one person really highlighted, I think it was Alex Ledbeater, actually highlighted a very interesting point, that it was actually in the nighttime, but they tweaked it to it was the daytime, it seemed. Not to say that it wasn't going to be the sunrise and all of that, and that Superman wasn't going to fight in the day, because we saw, even in the trailers, when Cyborg was actually knocking that tank off that protect the guy who was once in Superman 1978, it was in the day. So it wasn't like it wasn't going to be in the day in certain parts. What we know is, and of course the Amazon scene was in the day and so on. But the darkened sky and stuff, and we're not saying it wasn't going to have a dome, because we could have seen in the trailers that there was that peak thing going up into the sky. So there was going to be the dome. There was going to be the red sky. We clearly knew there was going to be red sky. We knew that it was going to be kind of towards the dawn. So it was going to go from night into morning anyway. So that we knew that was going to happen. But there were just certain special effects that Zack was doing which kind of a dialed down. And while you got more clarity in watching the characters move, which is something I really like and appreciated about this film, you kind of sacrifice some of the dark hue quality that was supposed to be there, and also more of the realism of the scene. So like some of the scenes where I saw Wonder Woman facing against Superman, Clark Kent, or Kal-El, it looked kind of fake. And then there was, and even when he punched Aquaman away, it looked clearer, but it looked faker. You know what I'm saying? When we saw the Flash running, it looked clearer, but it looked a bit fake at certain points where he was running. And then again, and I know they were just trying to go for clarity. They were trying to lighten up the film. There were certain times too when they were facing off against Steppenwolf that looked fake, and not only did it look fake, but it also felt a little too light, like it was supposed to be darker, richer reds and stuff. And so I think in trying to get clarity, I think they kind of made the movie a little bit more fake. Alright, not the earlier scenes. The earlier scenes were fine. Everything was grounded in the earlier scenes. It was just that final scene, some of it looked fakish. It's all good though. They have work on it, I guess, for Aquaman, get it really down to pack what they want, the balance of the light and the dark. Because, to be honest with you, one of my critiques of BVS and, what was it again, Suicide Squad, was it was like a bit way too dark. Now, in the theater, by the way, the color palette looked really great. It actually looked dark enough. But when I'm watching it on digital copy, I have a pirated digital copy, I'm definitely hoping to see them finalize and really crystallize and really clean up the digital copy that's coming in February. I know they're working on it. Trust me, they're working on that thing. They're going to get it down packed. They're going to get it right. I'm counting on Warner Brothers and DC to do that and get that digital copy really on par. And I'm looking for that extra footage that they're going to have in there as well. I'm really looking forward to it because I really like this film. I like that it was a combination of Zack and Joss Whedon. And even Danny Elfman. I just like the idea of them working together. It was nice. I do not like that Junkie XL was kicked off the project, and I do believe if Junkie XL was there, man, this shit would have been epic. But it's okay. Alright, I pardon that for now. I'm saying somewhere down the road, we're going to get a director's cut with Zack Snyder's version of the film. I just wish these assholes wasn't... In a way, I'm happy they're pushing for it. In a way, it teaches WB you can't even be a fraction off. You got to be on your game. You know, you can't disappoint people. You can't come with bad CG in little spots here and there. You got to be up on your game. I'm kind of happy about that, but yet at the same time, I am very much annoyed that these people are using lies to propagate what they want. And they're trying to kill off a film in a savage manner that does not deserve it. So it's like, I'm like, okay, WB got to be on their game, but at the same time, this is unfair. This is wrong. And so I'm going to stand out and I'm going to speak out loudly about it on social media, on YouTube, everywhere. And I'm going to answer these Snyder fans. When I see a Snyder fan, however, that is on point, that is telling the truth, I acknowledge them. And there are one or two Snyder fans out there who are fans of Zack Snyder like myself. They speak their grouses. They say, oh man, you know, they should have kept this film a little longer. And they actually give credible reasons for saying so. It's not that they are against the film. They like what they saw in the cinema, but they say, you know, man, I wish they had done this. It would have been so much more epic because of that. I'm cool with you guys because you guys are telling the truth, and you're not hard on the movie itself. You're just saying, man, you know, the runtime a little too short. That's all I'm saying. I know they wanted to make money in the cinema, but I think if they had their runtime a little bit longer, I think that made a big difference. Okay? And remember, most of the people who've seen Justice League, they have already, even on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever indicator you have, most people like the film. So how can you like a film? How can you say you love a film and then you go and you trash the film? Hell no. I will not accept that. If the film was shit like Ghostbusters last year, 2016, or if it was shit like Thor Ragnarok, or if it was shit like Spider-Man Homecoming even. I don't mean that Spider-Man Homecoming is shit, but I'm just saying compared to Justice League and all the DC films, Spider-Man Homecoming doesn't even touch it. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming does not touch Wonder Woman. It doesn't touch Logan even. If it was Logan level shit, and Logan was good. If it was Logan level, man, I would be trashing the films too. That's to tell you how it was better than Logan. It was better than Wonder Woman. It was better than, yeah, the CGI let us down in certain places, but we kind of already anticipated that with Henry Cavill's mustache thing. All right, so I can't make a big deal out of it. It didn't take me out of the story. So at the end of the day, it was better than all those films. All right, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm going to recant on what I said. It's better than Star Wars: The Last Jedi because I go into so much. But then again, I have to go into Star Wars: The Last Jedi some more because I'm telling you, man, Star Wars: The Last Jedi was a damn good movie. I just don't understand, man. Some people, I don't know what people are looking at these days. It was a damn good movie. I mean, it was dare I say, it was a masterpiece. It was a masterpiece of a filmmaking. That shit was like Blade Runner 2049. That stuff was off the charts, man. And the more I watch at it, I have to get a copy of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I don't know about y'all, but I gotta get a copy of that shit. That shit is on point, and it is relevant to our times. It is more traditional storytelling than it is Justice League, and Justice League is a lot more elaborate, and it's part of a trilogy. But I don't know, man. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I gotta check out that shit again, man. I gotta check out that shit again. And those people who are Star Wars fans, you can't be a Star Wars fan and tell me Justice League wasn't a damn good movie. I mean, come on now. Don't pitch yourself against Justice League. I see some DC fans talking about Star Wars was trash. Man, y'all need to shut the hell up. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you haven't seen Star Wars: The Last Jedi, go see it first. And then you could say anything you want after that. But go see it first, And I was saying, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, people were saying that, Justice League was better than it. No. It's tough, man. It's tough to say. Those two movies had so much in them, And I know Zack does things. He pulls from old lore. He pulls from art. He pulls from great works of great producers and great directors and all that. I know what Zack does. But I'm telling you still, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the message in Star Wars: The Last Jedi is meaty, man. I'm still breaking that shit down. So anybody saying that Star Wars: The Last Jedi was crap, y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. It wasn't a Star Wars film. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? The New Hope's all up in that movie, man. Even the last scene in Return of the Jedi, where Darth Vader is trying to invite Luke to come to the dark side of the Force, it is a reflection of what happened in the scene with Snoke and Kylo Ren and Rey. It's very much a play off of that. So I mean, I don't know what people are looking at. I don't know what I don't understand it, man. I mean, all you got to do, man, if you a Star Wars fan, if you believe in the Star Wars trilogy, I mean, this is following that in a kind of way, just in a different way. It's moving in a different direction, but it's basically following that. So I don't know what people are talking about. You know what I'm saying? I could break that down because I actually watch movies for what they are. I do not watch movies with any preconceived ideas or expectations about a movie. When I go in to see a movie, I want to know what you're going to tell me. And then I'm going to tell you if it was good and you succeeded in what you were doing or not. You know? I don't go in with no babble in the back of my mind. Y'all going to respect me in time. Y'all going to respect me and my breakdown of movies in time. Because I give you the real. I give you the real on movies. I give you the real on art. I give you the real on cinema. You know? Other people, they're going to bullshit you. I give you the real. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, like I said, I am not one of them blind fanboys. I'm not going to just certify everything that's DC. You'll never get that from me. But what you will get from me is if a movie has substance, if it really has something to offer that can really change the world, I will give you that. By the way, it's very interesting in the ceremony, Donald Trump, I want to point this out because I want to actually give something positive about Donald Trump right here. Some of you are not going to like me for it, but I don't care. In the ceremony that they had recently, State of the Union address, Donald Trump was actually hopeful. He actually spoke about hope, and there was actually a discussion in hope. I guess hope is trending. I guess he might have saw my videos or something. Who knows? But what I do know is he actually made sense. He stuck to the script and he made sense. And God damn it, man, we are so desperate for just hearing something hopeful right now. It's gotten that bad. That is just, I gotta applaud him on that. I even had to applaud the army man that did something really nice to try and restore hope to, and there's a serious epidemic in the United States of America with drugs right now. That was good. That was good. I know it was to score political points, but I don't care, man. I'm like, that was a positive thing. Kudos to you, Donald Trump. Please let the world see more positive things. Please be more positive. Forget the naysayers and stuff. If you got to tweet something on hope. Brother, if you keep riding that wave, brother, we're gonna ride with you. You know, I don't care that you're racist and all of that. Shit. You could be a racist one day, next day you may not be a racist. You know what I'm saying? But we will ride with you, Donald Trump, if you keep on saying positive things. I know you say positive things, but nobody believe you because, at least the people of the world, at least, they don't believe you because your actions don't match up. But if you can just ride that wave of positivity, man, if you be more positive, that's what Barack Obama did. In spite of everything that was negative was going on, he was always positive about things. And I see you trying to take that template that Barack has, and you trying to use the white demographic to have them ride behind you. But you don't need to ride off of fears, man. You don't need to ride off of their fears. You need to show them, hey, man, we are in the process of doing some positive things. The tax cuts, some people received it as a positive thing. So ride with that, man. I mean, we're rooting for you to succeed. We're not rooting for you to fail. We don't want America to fail. We don't want leaders to fail. You know, so I just want to say that positive thing right there. And I hope he rides off of that. You know, hope is a good thing. I mean, anything we can get that's positive, I'm going to ride with it. There's a lot of issues in the United States of America. Things have gone backwards. I see them now attacking the institutions like the FBI. I'm not saying that the FBI is not flawed. I know this is politics right now they're playing. I'm sure the FBI is flawed in some ways, shapes, and forms. I'm hoping they don't attack the FBI, because if you rallying behind the troops, you better rally behind your defense mechanism, because they like the first line of defense. The CIA, the FBI, all your special services, they're very important. But then again, that's like saying rally behind the Secret Service. So I don't know how you. And that's like saying rally behind the military complex, which you got a lot of generals in your. I don't know. That's a good idea. I'm just saying it sends a round message to the world. It sounds like you like moving like Hitler. But anyway, that's another story for another day. I'm here to talk positive things right now. There's a lot of negative things I could say, but I decided just not to speak anything negative on Donald. It's just an abyss, man. Like. The other thing I'm really encouraged with Americans, you guys started taking the country into your own hands, man. You decided, you know what, Donald Trump, he's not going to be my example. I'm going to be my example. And you guys are taking that power, and that is important. And I love that. So, you know, he at least stepped up his game, and he actually did something positive for a change. And he put a positive picture before the American audience, and that's all people need sometimes. They just need to see that some light at the end of the tunnel, some kind of hope. So that's a positive thing. You know, another thing, like I told you guys, just keep hope alive. Be positive. It does not matter. You know what? One day, I mean, this is just hope speaking here, but you know, Donald Trump may be public enemy number one day, and then the next day, he may just be, you know, somebody's hero. Literally, the guy that's done so many unthinkable things could be somebody who is a hero. On the other hand, I've seen it before in politics. So I'm just saying, keep hope alive. I'm not saying focus on him. I'm saying focus on your daily routines. Focus on your life. You know, don't do hero worship. No one, no character, no person should be bigger than the ideals that you hold fast to. Okay, what made America so great was the ideals, their value systems, that they tried to be fair. Even though many times they fall short of that, they tried to be fair. And people love them for that, and that's what the world loved Americans for. It's their value system. And the ideal that you could be whatever you want to be. It's sort of called the American dream thing, where you could be whatever you want to be, and nothing should restrict you, and you should have freedoms to do that. And one of the beautiful things about this presidential campaign is basically they're saying anybody can be president. If you want to be president, you can be. And that's cool. I like all of that. That's actually awesome. So I just wanted to talk these positive things, debunk some stuff. If you guys enjoyed this video, again, share it on social media. Share the stuff. Whether people want to see this hour-long video, I don't know how long it is. However long the video is. Listen, man, share the stuff because it does make an impact on people. I know because I put out certain videos out there and I've seen people echoing my sentiments now, and that's good. And we just have to keep the grind going. Listen, man, slavery, black people were under in the United States of America 400 years of slavery and bondage, man. And they, after all of that, you know, I was talking to a black brother recently. This is just black stuff. So if you guys don't like black stuff, sign off now. But I'm going to talk black, right? Because I'm a black man. And brother was saying, man, they tried to clean us out with genocide. They had us under slavery. Man, they alienated us from our origins and our ancestry and our people and our genealogy. They cut us off. Man, they tried to wipe us out with wars. They tried to flood us out and put diseases on us. We're still here. I said to him, now you guys ain't gonna like this, but I don't care. We was the first, and we will be the last. What I basically am saying is, the first race of people on the planet Earth were black people. They were colored people. Clearly, because we came from dust. That's if you believe in creation. And if you didn't believe in creation, we came from the ape. And the apes weren't white. Whichever way you want to look at it. We were here first. So, we were here first, which means we were the race of people that have survived. We've been around the longest. And I'm pretty sure when all the other races are gone, we will be here. I'm just saying. No disrespect to nobody. I know you all was racist. But it's facts. Think about it. If you mix the races together, what race do you get? Black. I'm just saying. It's going to be colored. It's not going to be white. I'm just saying. No disrespect to nobody out there, okay? Hey, I love every race, though. I'll just be real. Y'all be like, you're racist. I'm just saying, though. If you think about it, How are you going to keep a pure race? You can't. It's not possible. You can try. The most recent races are white races. It's been around. They come up, they go down, they come up. But before that, just to make people understand, people don't get this. There's no such thing really as race. I'm just saying. There's adaptations to different climatic conditions, so that the beauty of humanity is we actually express different genes different ways. So you get all this variety. And it's really sad when people, there are two things people try to do that just don't make no damn sense. One is people try to preserve their genealogy. They try to preserve their legacy, their family legacy. In the long scheme of things, millennia, it ain't going to matter. Thousands and thousands of years. You'll be around for a while, but you're going to disappear eventually. It's just what it is. It's dumb. Now, I understand you want to keep a legacy. Let me tell you what you do. To keep a legacy, you need to tap into something that's eternal. Because everybody want to live forever. Everybody want people to remember their name, right? So, if you want to live forever, you're going to tap into something eternal. Tap into something that all of humanity share. And all of humanity want. That will always be so. So, you tap into things like love. They're abstract things. Security, kindness, gentleness. When you are gone, those things will remain, and part of you will remain with them forever. That's how you do it. But a lot of people just don't get it. The simplest things in life that make us more than just something that exists are the things you should tap into. I'm just saying to people, you guys have a great one.